I'm Ron Reynolds, State Representative for House District 27, and I currently am the chair of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus. One of my passions is fighting for economic empowerment for African Americans to make sure that African Americans have a piece of the pie. Also, I'm very passionate about advocating for civil rights and criminal justice reform. Those are some of the things that I'm very, very passionate about. I'm very excited. I'm very excited that Martin Luther King III is coming to Austin, Texas to really share some of his father's legacy. We all stand on the shoulders of Martin Luther King Jr., a pioneer, someone who fought and gave his life for our freedom, someone who did everything he could to end Jim Crow racism and discrimination. I will submit to you that I wouldn't be here today as the first African American state representative in Fort Bend County since Reconstruction if it wasn't for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his fight and his advocacy in dismantling Jim Crow racial discrimination that prevented people who look like me from serving in public office. That once upon a time they had to count how many beans in a jar, to pay poll taxes and literacy tests. Thankful to Dr. King and others that he inspired a movement, we got the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So it's so important, especially now in 2023, when our state leadership and many MAGAs are unfortunately trying to take us back. They're trying to erase our history by this nonsense of critical race theory. They're trying to hurt our institutions from being able to teach people about civil rights and the slavery and the America's original sin by this nonsense of ending diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so I am so thankful that we are going to have Martin Luther King III to be able to come to educate us on his father's legacy and everything that his father stood for when it came to the civil rights movement. I'm very excited that we can be able to educate our children so they understand history and not this etch-a-sketch, not this revised a version where African Americans benefited from slavery, but the real struggle that we have overcome and that we're still having to overcome many disparities that impact us when it comes to education, when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to unemployment. Texas is the home of more African Americans than any other state in the country. So there's no more state that is appropriate for Martin Luther King III to come than Texas, especially when we are competing with Florida to erase our history and the struggle that our people have had to overcome. So I'm excited about it. I'm really looking forward to it. And I encourage everyone to participate, to buy a ticket, to buy a table, to give a sponsorship. This is a historical moment that it's a rare time where you'll have someone of that caliber from the royal King family after his father's name to come locally, where you don't have to travel far, where he's in our backyard. People from all over Texas should be making travel plans to be here, and I'm looking forward to it as well.